been doing a great job with his vlogs and stuff like that, and you can feel the losses piling up and just like the mood starting to shift for that team. He didn't do one this week, and he said like it's just starting to feel rough as you get into the second half of the split. So hopefully they can turn it around a little bit, because that was one of the things I really liked about the Immortals team, was seeing their kind of camaraderie and some of the goofy antics behind the scene. And it is one of those things that it's hard to keep putting yourself out there, because people can be rough when you put it out like a lighthearted thing when you're not doing as well.
Yeah, people will just think that you don't care about League of Legends.
It's like, I do care, but I'm also trying to,
It's the darkest thing to go down. And I really like the players on this Immortals team, but I do think if they go 0-2 this week and move to 2-9, even though they won't be officially eliminated from playoffs, they're not making playoffs. They're not going to win 7 games in a row, and I think they know that. But if they win this one, at least they still have a chance. So I think this actually is the most important game of the split so far for Immortals.
100%. I mean, we talked about this yesterday with Dignitas, the mounting pressure that you put on yourself internally, where you think you can make changes within your team. You're like, oh, it's worked. Maybe this change in our draft's working for us, or at least how we focused on team fights. But it's just stacking losses that you feel like nothing is going right, and that really takes a hit in your confidence, even in your greatest strengths as a player, where you feel like, oh, I really feel like I know this matchup, but everything is going wrong. That being said, Misfortune, we have not seen this champion, period.
Lock him down.
And we're going to press R comp.
There it is.
When you're struggling, you always just go back to basics, these easy to execute team fight comps. A strong early game as well with the Elise for Kenvi to try and get them ahead. So that way when you get to like the 15-20 minute mark, you're hopefully even in the game, and you get these kind of team fights where it's like you just lock down one member and hopefully insta-give them.
Yeah, I like throwing out the book when you're down like this. And also for CLG, it definitely feels like when a team is above them in the standings, they have a pretty high chance of winning, and a team is below them in the standings, it's a pretty low chance of winning.
Play at the enemy level?
You never know, right? CLG is definitely the team where you never know.
Yeah, and take a look at this. I mean, when you see the Nami get locked in, you know the Lucian is going to be coming up immediately afterwards. So the Misfortune is already showcasing, yeah, we outrange you with this Misfortune, and I expect that we see
the Lucian
Psych.
coming?
There it is, Psych!
You got ahead of yourself, son.
I guess they're just going to change it up right there. What do you think, Emily?
No, I think you're absolutely right, because that's what we saw in the G2 Koi series, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. G2 picked the MF into the Lucian Nami for that reason. So I do think this is kind of a bit of an audible to shift to the Sivir, which is obviously something that Luger is like super comfortable on, but switching away from Lucian.
Yeah, and the spell shield will actually be good against the Nautilus and the Elise whenever they're trying to gank them, so I understand it. And it's what CLG has done when they've been successful is picking the champions that they have specialists of.
Yeah.
So Luger, Sivir,
Yep.
Dhokla, Aurelia, things like that.
Yeah, and even then, you know, like he did play a great Lucian game just yesterday, and it was cool to hear Palafox, if people did not see the post game to that, definitely check it out if you're a CLG fan, talking about like the comms that they have around Luger being like, our Lucian can one-tap anyone, we just need to isolate people, stall fights out, make sure you can do that. Like the team knows how to play around him. So sometimes you can see that there's still like a little lack of synergy. The one time he was flaming him for hitting a ward, but like team fighting, they seem to communicate very well on what their options are for how to win these engages.
Yeah, and also, we got to hear a little bit more of the behind the scenes. So we had Dhokla and Palafox on after their game
We have some
yesterday.
content coming.
And just for fun, asked them who they think the player of the game was.
Yeah.
And Dhokla was like, well, yeah, it was Luger. He had a bunch of kills. And Palafox said, no, man, it's Poome. He had really good comms. And Dhokla said, nobody hears our comms. But for what it's worth, Poome apparently has been very vocal and was very vocal yesterday. And we have Jayce. Why not have Jayce?
Jayce mid NA, oh no.
Is it the Palafox
They need-
Jayce or a Dhokla
It's definitely
Jayce?
a flex. I will say this right now.
Yes, they need so much AP damage, though. This is...
Yeah. This is likely going to be an AP Moakai, but if it is, then they would lack a front line.
I hate the AP Moakai angles that I've seen most of the time. You just end up so squishy, and so like the damage is there. You just don't have enough front line. I forget which team did it yesterday. It might have been EG, where they just had like a Bruiser Renekton with the AP Moakai, and both of them just exploded before they could really get anything done. So I do hope that's a Jayce flex top with an AP mid. I would really prefer that for CLG.
Even if an AP is mid or top, it's not that much because they won't have frontline. But you can easily, you can easily go Victor here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a
Yeah.
Jayce mid. I think it's going to be a Jayce mid. It's been most often
Gwen
picked
top?
into the Azir. Oftentimes you'll see Jayce mid into the Azir, so I think that's going to be the case. It also makes it so they'll have prio early versus the Azir so they can move towards the side lane. Let's see what the option is here. They don't have that much time.
There's so few AP top options other than Gwen.
There it is.
So it has to be Gwen
And it
top.
does play into Ksante a fair amount. People have done this matchup before. it's an interesting game. It's pretty short range to kind of be running into them, but at least you have a lot of tools to survive that range with the Gwen. You know, like the bullet time, you can basically fully immune if you're not actually targeting the MF, if you time it right and stuff. So it will be highly skill intensive for CLG because they are squishy.
Yeah, I think they can take a 1-3-1. Obviously, they can't win through 1-3-1. They have to eventually team fight and take angles, and that's going to be harder to play. I like IMT's ease of execution, and I think that's just what they've been going for to get a win. So team fights are going to be their focus. I'm looking at especially AblazeOlive's Azir, which is just his best pick. So might be the win for them, but we'll have to see what happens here.
Well, Twitch chat thinks CLG won draft, and they're never wrong.
True.
Dude, did you see yesterday Dig had like 80% prediction by the Twitch?
I was saying, I'm going to pass you back.
Okay, but to be fair, it's LCS Lounge.
Man! All right, whatever. I agree with what they were saying. I like the fact that if you're a team that's at the bottom of the standings, you go for ease of execution. I think that's the best way to get yourself a couple of wins, get that momentum going in the right direction.
I concur, good sir.
All right. Hey, that's
Wise
fine, man.
point.
Clever.
Wise point. The only problem is that CLG did end up technically getting a bunch of counter picks here. Gwen forces Ksante not to be able to go right into the Iceborne Gauntlet because it's full armor now since they changed the tank mythics.
Yeah.
One of the biggest strengths there, having that AP threat from the top side. In addition, it's a Moakai too, so it's kind of like Revenge has to change from the brain off build, turn brain on, get a little
flip
bit
that
of
switch.
a little bit of magic resist there, and then Jayce. While it is much maligned in North America, it is 1-8.
What's that word mean?
Disgusted. It's despised.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do that. I don't like NA.
Yeah, it's not good. It is supposed to be good into Azir via poke, because Azir does not have sustain. So we'll see if CLG and Palafox can be the 2-8, make it 2-8, improve.
Maybe they can. Maybe they can. That Jayce.
Numbers are not working in your favor, though.
Yeah, the Jayce has disappointed me in pretty much every performance I've seen from it in the LCS here in 2023. Maybe Palafox can turn it around. But down here in the bottom side, the Misfortune and Nautilus combo can be so deadly if they line it up right. And right there is how they started off. The dredge line into the immediate follow-up. Auto attacks just flying out from the Immortals bottom lane duo. The 2v2, they just slam it.
Yeah, they do. Tactical getting huge amounts of health in this trade. Giant chunks off both Luger and Poome. Now, Luger and Poome are the sustain lane, though. Nami gonna do her best to keep them topped off. Potion still in inventory for the Nami. Immediately chugged there by Luger, though, and that's gonna call Kenvi. Let's see. I feel like on the next cannon wave, well, never mind. Junglers will meet first before they even get to the wave.
Yeah, Kenvi ends up walking over the sapling. That's going to give CLG information that he's hanging around. Contractz knows that Immortals would love
the
to make
door!
it here. So, yeah, I think they're going to be able to defend this. Kenvi's still hanging out. If he walks back into the brush, he just eats another sapling. Kaboom.
Delicious.
Yum. Acorn.
Love that. Everybody loves walking into saplings over and over. Palafox, though, is prime cocoon target.
Yeah.
It was close to the wall there. Kenvi kind of thinking about if he stuck around a little bit longer in that trade, could get off the flash cocoon. But Palafox calls off the trade in time, backs right up to the turret, will remain safe, and that allows Contractz to finish up on the blue quadrant. So Contractz will be one camp up on the Elise since Kenvi's just been sitting down here picking hatchlings out of the ground.
Yeah, I mean, all he's doing is picking up acorns or whatever, so it's not exactly super
Farmer
beneficial for him.
Elise, new skin.
Yeah, Farmer Elise with a straw hat and a piece of wheat in between her teeth. She's having a great time.
Bunch of little turnips following you around.
Yeah, turnip. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm down for this. Also, we could have Farmer Moakai. He could throw turnip.
Yeah, he picked another one there. Oh, that one is not ripe, though.
No.
Spit it out. Spit it out.
Not a tasty one here today. Kenvi, even though was behind about one camp, now everything's back to being tied up, considering he had control over this bottom side river. Means he gets priority over that scuttle crab. Okay. Contractz on the other half of the map right now, clears out his red, moves over to his chicken. He should be able to get the other crab.
This is our route that we just went for Kenvi. That's the Kenvi route for the last minute and a half.
I'll take your word for it. That was quite a intricate shape and design, my friend.
No problem.
You went to like engineering school or something, right? So you had to like draft blueprints or something.
I do.
That's what I'm believing that was. That's that experience right there.
I have a
coming back.
degree in engineering. Hatched like four different saplings in that route as well.
Yeah.
In the meantime, plus 10 CS here for Contractz. Got up to the other side of the map here on Moakai. And again, with W, Flash, there's always a possibility of going for an early play. Dhokla, though, pushed under his tower and at half health. They don't want to overextend and waste any time going for it. So Contractz can get his reset and come right back down towards this bottom side. Maybe they can turn something around here. Tactical's exhaust is about to come back off cooldown, though.
Yeah.
Fairly short on that one.
Poome and Luger, 3 out of 4 summoner spells for them too. The Ghost will come back up at the same time Tactical's exhaust does. Those summoner spells being on the same timer. The trade was pretty much perfectly lined up between the two being used.
All right.
Kenvi wants a chance to go after him down here. Dredge line comes out. Spell shield. Nicely timed from Luger to make sure Fleshy's not going to get it, but he flashes back in. Flash cocoon from Kenvi does not find the target. CLG thinking about what they might be able to grab afterwards. Contractz going forward, throws the sapling into the brush. Fleshy is caught, and it's first blood over to counter Logic Game.
This is so massive for CLG. Elise comes back down bottom again. All this time invested down here, only to be counter ganked and killed. Fleshy goes down. CLG get the first blood. They can transition that into the dragon as well. Massive, massive stuff here. For the Sivir Nami bottom lane too, it relieves some of that pressure because Tactical and Fleshy had just been bombarding them in this bottom lane. And they'll still retain their decent CS lead, but here's another look. The hook is spell shielded, so then Luger can get a lot of damage here after they kite back on Fleshy. Kenvi went for the follow-up cocoon there, but not long enough CC, so Luger is able to flash out and then just run him all the way down until Contractz get into range.
Didn't even cost the flash from Contractz. They just made sure that they collapsed on the target that was most easy to do so. Yeah. Really good stuff there from CLG.
And they get to deny some more minions right now. Look at this triple stacked up wave right now. CLG is just letting it melt away their minions. So that will make up some of this ground here between Tactical and Luger, where that CS difference we were talking about will still stand.
Yeah, it is a massive farm gap, not only in bot lane, but back here in mid lane as well. Palafox's Jayce is down 20 farm versus the Azir of AblazeOlive. So even though Immortals are the ones who lost the fight, who got first blooded, they still have a modest gold lead just because of these differences in the carry roles and how well they've been farming.
Yep, Palafox should be able to get this whole minion wave. The camera's on you, buddy. Don't miss any. Wipe them all out.
Okay, nice. Oh.
That's okay.
Gonna want that one back.
Yeah, nobody was watching, it's fine. Top side though, Dhokla did get up to the Leeching Leer, at least, on the Gwen, and so starts to have the sustain advantage here. You can see quickly stacking up the Conqueror. Gwen starts to feel a lot nicer versus Ksante once you start rolling in some items, but as we said, he is gonna have to divert his build, and he went for the early magic resist, so no magic mantle will protect him versus both the Gwen and the Moakai.
I like it a lot.
Revenge has turned his brain on, not the autopilots that we have seen some Ksantes still going for.
No cookie cutter builds. Fleshy going forward with the Hex Splash, but Contractz once again knows what they're planning. A beautiful double bubble. And CLG, they get the better of their opponents by a mile here in this trade, but they will not get any kills.
Yeah, beautiful cover fire here from Tactical. Misfortune ultimate just in time. That double bubble out of the Moakai ultimate was going to be disaster. But Tactical's able to lay down the cover fire for his teammates, get them out, and honestly, that was flash from Contractz as well. It is Moakai with Hex Flash, so it's not the biggest loss for them on the bottom side, but it still means Tactical retains his CS lead. He'll be able to clean up the wave, no problem. He didn't take any of the damage. He didn't get caught in that Moakai Ultimate's bubble combination, so Immortals successfully avoid disaster there.
Contractz is doing a good job reading Kenvi this game. He knows that he wants to look at this bottom lane. He knows he's trying to snowball these guys ahead, and he's done a great job at stopping those attempts so far. Now Fleshy's making a rotation up into the top side of the map. Dhokla, with the Hallowed Mist, of course, can easily just walk away from these attempts.
And this could be a setup for the Rift Herald here. Everybody's coming off their bottom side recalls. CLG got their bottom side recalls off first, and since Tactical was clearing the wave, but he is on Misfortune, so Tactical could get here with the strut move speed advantage.
Oh, it looks like he will. I think we might get a full-on 5v5 for this Mr. Kobe. Dhokla's gonna go in and start things off with an Nami wave following it up, and CLG have decided it's time to fight. Revenge wants to turn it around, but Dhokla grabs the kill on Fleshy and disengages. Immortals have to head back. Luger throws out a boomerang. Not gonna find any targets with it. Now, of course, the Herald did reset, but CLG knows they hard won the fight in terms of the health bar.
Yep, and they hard won it by separating the enemy team. 2 carries from Immortals down here in the bottom side jungle, and then the rest of the team, the 3 members, right up in front of Contractz' face. So Dhokla and Contractz run right into the 3 members. They attack one side, take down the extra kill, and Dhokla was very close to actually dropping during this, but here's what I'm talking about. So there's gonna be 2 carries for Immortals down here, and then the rest of the team 3 over here. So they're sectioned off, and CLG just goes straight towards that side. Nami wave. So even though Dhokla gets CC'd into the Revenge ultimate, Ksante over the wall, he can't quite finish him, and Dhokla gets the triumph and extra kill their credit onto Nautilus. So they survive with the Immortals, Azir, and Misfortune on the other side. The damage just could not follow up.
Tactical also did not have the ulti ready to go again for the fight. You could see that cooldown just about ready to come up again. It's ready now, but the Misfortune, especially early on, not being able to contribute with that massive ultimate in these fights feels really, really bad for the team that's piloting her. So Immortals end up giving up a second kill there in that one. It's the Herald in the pocket of CLG. Contractz still has 3 minutes to use that wherever he sees fit. Should be able to guarantee some plate money with it. Speaking of which, Revenge has still been in control over the top side 1v1, so now he's gonna get some plate money. They're swapping up the lane assignments. You've got Dhokla down there in the bottom side. You got a play over in mid as Poome gets jumped on, shuffled back, and it's Tactical grabbing the kill credit.
Yeah, Ablaze is able to sweep in on Azir, gets the ultimate that he saved from the Rift Herald fight, and they actually get a kill. It's only on the support, but it does mean you get Dragon as your reward. There's no way, right? Contractz is kind of poking around here, but there's no way he gets in. They're actually going to go for it on the bottom side here. CLG, they're forcing them off the Dragon. Dhokla was able to move up. Yeah, such a priority. They bought time. Poome is here. Poome revived.
Okay, 4v4, run it back. Let's do it again. AblazeOlive trying to put some poke on Luger over the wall here near the blue buff.
No Azir ult. The only thing they have to watch out for is the Misfortune ult.
And there it comes. Dhokla immediately going into the Hallowed Mist. He wants to apply the pressure. The Dragon's going to be secured by Tactical, but now the fight thereafter. Fleshy ends up giving one over. It's CLG getting a kill. It's Immortals getting the Drake.
I don't think Contractz had his smite. It's on cooldown right now. I don't think he had his smite, and so Tactical just burns the Dragon down with his ultimate. The Immortals still get what they came for, Flowers, even though CLG were trying to muscle them off. Palafox will get the Rift Herald turret plates and the auto.
Oh, Tactical.
Yeah.
Oof. It's a oof.
Yeah.
It's a oof.
He also exhausted.
Yeah.
At the end, hoping that was going to be enough
That's a tough
to save.
one. That's a tough one. CLG, yeah, they ended up giving away the Drake, but they got 3 plates. They got 2 kills after Palafox cleans up that delayed one on Tactical there in the mid lane. I'll take that trade if I'm CLG any day of the week.
Yeah, honestly, pretty happy with the extra gold for themselves. Eclipse now finished for Palafox off of that kill money. And it's going to be a pretty quick demonic for Contractz as well, with the two of the kills going to him on the Moakai. That is such a massive power spike.
Yeah. Makes those saplings so annoying.
Exactly.
Now, 4 minutes until our next Drake spawns. Tons of time until we see the next Herald show up here on the map. So no neutral objectives to fight over. Means it's back to fighting over the position of these waves, back to fighting over the possibility of a dive. But Immortals, they know they can't set anything up if Contractz is reading it again.
Yep. And you know what kind of rift it is. As soon as you see the map pop up with these green zits all over the place. The Omega plants. Chemtech,
no.
baby. Chemtech is coming to town. They are the most fun plants.
The blast cones are funny.
We are going to have another 3-on-3 on bottom side here. Kenvi's trying to poke around from Tri-Brush. If he can hit the cocoon.
Well, Contractz is immediately ready to fire back. All three get rooted. Fleshy's just going to die here at the very start. Immortals decided they wanted this fight. Revenge is making his way down. He's used Ghost, he's used TP, he's ready to fight, and they're going to bring one back. They'll trade Luger for Fleshy 1-for-1.
Yeah, probably still not worth it for Immortals. If you see this Gwen on top side here, Dhokla chopping away on the top turret. They use their teleport and the Ghost, like you say, invested from Revenge, and still gonna be basically even as bottom turret and top turret dropping simultaneously. Can Dhokla win the race? It looks like he can.
Yeah.
First turret bonus as well for CLG.
Dhokla is loving the current state of things here. 5,700 gold. He's topping the charts. Tactical right behind him here with 5,500 on the Misfortune. Palafox will be next in line. 5,300 there on the Jayce. Considering this Jayce was down over 20 farm earlier just in the 1v1 matchup in mid lane, he's done a good job bringing it back.
Yeah. Thank you, Base Tactical, for the little visit. And the Rift Herald also did a lot to even up that gold, get Palafox right back into it. And now for CLG, you get to transition to the poke game for Jayce with the outer turret going down on the top side. Dhokla has a lot of side lane priority at the moment, so we'll see if they can push that one out, transition on over. You've got your Sivir. You can just rotate Sivir towards mid lane with Nami.
Yeah.
Move the Buzzsaw into mid lane, clear out those minions constantly, and let your side lanes do their work.
90 seconds till that next Drake that we got showing up. Both the teams don't really seem too shy about wanting to fight, so I'm assuming we're going to get a team fight over this one. They were ready to fight back all the way for first Rift Herald. Technically, it's a shock blast there, but he's not as concerned about it as he otherwise might be. Has the Vamp Scepter in inventory, so he can leech back some of his life that he loses from the poke of Palafox. You can see Contractz just continuing to arm those saplings all over the river, just try to harass these guys as much as possible with that demonic embrace that is now completed. Immortals, they're the ones starting up the second Herald, 16 and a half minutes into the game. CLG not ones to back away. Luger using the spell shield to get away from Fleshy, who jumps into the front, and Dhokla's ready to follow up here on the flank. Immortals off most of their men, mostly dead already, and they're gonna make sure that they drop all the way. CLG chasing after him. Palafox wants a little bit more damage, but the exhaust gets it done this time. And IMT, they're so low, but they're still alive.
Yeah, they actually turned around the extra kill with the separation there. Palafox alone while the rest of the team was held off towards the river and end up making it a 1-for-1. CLG will still get the objective, but that is better than Immortals probably should have gotten, considering they walked up right into Moakai ult plus Nami ult. Take a look at the beginning of this team fight, because it looks so juicy for the engage for CLG. They're all clumped up at the jungle corridor, so Moakai ult goes down the middle, followed by a Nami ult, and everybody is basically out. 3 people knocked up from the Nami ult, so Immortals are full retreat, but then CLG unable to finish off more because AblazeOlive cuts them off at the pass. That Azir ulti cuts the entire CLG team off from Palafox and basically isolates him. So even though every other Immortals player was blinking low health bars, they still are able to turn it around. Tactical tanks Palafox, and they get their kill back.
That could have been a disaster for Immortals if all of those guys got cleaned up there. Fortunately for them, the stop succeeds, but they will not be able to stop this turret from falling as the second Herald is summoned up by CLG here in mid lane. They'll force that down, go up to a 2-to-1 lead in turret count. Herald trying to get the second charge, and Palafox just snipes Tactical down for the second time.
Ouch. First strike, big ol' shock blast. It doesn't even have his Muramana yet, Flowers. It's gonna get more painful than that pretty quickly.
It's not going to be pretty for Tactical in the Misfortune unless those juke boots end up helping him sidestep things a little bit better.
Yeah, he needs to upgrade those boots for more move speed with that plus the strut. Maybe then we can get out.
Maybe then we can get out of the way of it, but he's going to have to be fast, man. He's gonna have to be aware of these things flying in after him. Second Drake for CLG.
You little emo farmer, you.
Yeah.
All right. Honestly, they've got very few defenses left to hide behind too now, so seems like it's going to be a difficult setup here for Immortals to get their way back in. All of this massive engage on the side of CLG, and Immortals really kind of got to look for more pick style.
Okay.
Nautilus ultimate, single here. Kenvi following up, you know, maybe in a brush. AblazeOlive is trying to set a little trap.
Palafox will be the one furthest up. Uses to the skies immediately. AblazeOlive goes for the shuffle, but Palafox on the flash doesn't want to take any chances. Nice job getting away from him.
Yeah. Good flash for sure. No Azir ultimate now. The cooldown's pretty low though, so nice little bit of fishing there for Immortals, trying to set up traps on the side lanes. Yeah, use the vision to their advantage. And Revenge still doing quite well for himself, honestly, with just the no magic mantle early on.
All right, Immortals, let's take another look at, oh, I guess all the way back here. This was the snipe. Oh, we're gonna get the camera angle for the snipe.
Oh, it's zooming in on him, baby.
Here it comes, kaboom.
Wait, I can't even see it anymore.
Oh,
right in the heart.
Animation shot through the heart. Anime Jayce deletes Halloween misfortune. All right, Tactical, you're gonna have to get your revenge at some point, buddy. I got my eyes on him. One of these days, we're gonna see a misfortune all fly towards Jayce. Maybe he'll be able to find that vengeance, but for now, Contractz locking down Fleshy. The Nautilus has been killed so many times. Kenvi just barely gets out of the way of the bubble using the Proto Belt to clear that last little bit of distance. So it's only the single kill. 6th death. There are 8 kills for CLG. 6 of those kills have been on Fleshy's Nautilus.
And I can do you one better, Flowers. All 8 of them are the bottom lane. It's a 100% bottom lane death.
You got me there. You got me there. All 8 deaths across the 2 players from the bottom lane of IMT. And this is the thing about playing a champion like Nautilus, right? I mean, if your team is behind, every time you go in, you're also going out.
True. Also, this is probably a good time for a PSA as far as finding someone to hold your hand when you go for vision.
Right.
Because it's a very dangerous task to go into enemy jungle looking for vision, especially if you are behind, as you mentioned.
It's a tough time here for Fleshy. I don't think it's going to get a whole lot easier. I expect most of these fights to be dredge line in, press R, die. And anything more than that is going to be a boon for Immortals, who are now down 4,000 gold against CLG in the mid game. Muramana completed on Palafox's Jayce as well. There's that power spike you were talking about. Those shock blasts are going to absolutely rip through anyone not named Revenge.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody not named Revenge on Immortals is going to have a very tough time playing out the rest of this game. Thankfully for Revenge in the side lanes, he's able to push on up, working on his force of nature.
I don't know, man. It's still kind of scary. That's Gwen. She has 2 items. Once Gwen has 3 items.
Shadow Flame completed. It gets a little bit scary. But rest of Immortals, their #1 job. They've got these 2 scryers. I love actually having double scryers trinket over here. They're trying to keep vision of the Baron, make sure they don't have to walk into anything. As Contractz is forced to flash defensively after his ult at the flank.
Oh, Revenge goes in. He tries to get the all-out on Luger, who uses the spell shield to block the knockback.
Oh, they got him!
Nearly dead, and Tactical guarantees it with a nice use of the bullet time. Now with Contractz also shut down, Immortals just found 2 huge picks with no response. Baron's on the table, and the enemy have no jungler for 30 seconds.
Oh, it looks juicy, Flowers. It looks juicy. Kenvi's a little bit low on HP, and Revenge already used his ultimate, though.
They did get the Hallowed Mist out of Dhokla right there, so they at least got 15 seconds before Gwen feels comfortable stepping up with impunity again. Fleshy goes out, dredge line to lock down the Gwen. That might be exactly what they needed. Kenvi so close to the edge of death. The Shark Blast doesn't get him, but Baron's Spit does.
Oh, so close to living there. Immortals is a huge comeback play, though. Teamfight right in front of the tower, chasing him down.
To give you the official ruling.
I'll give you my official ruling is Baron stomped that jungler. That's what you get.
Okay, well, he has been stomped. That is his first death of the game. It is the first death for Immortals that is not on one of the 2 bot lane players. The score is 6-9 to 1. The 4th Drake of the game is 2-1.
It's 6-9 to 1. 1 for Baron.
Yeah, Baron does get an extra point. He is the 3rd team in this game. But we also have our 4th Drake spawning now. CLG has the lead 2-1 in that department. Contractz is going to start this one up.
6v5. Baron drafted by CLG. What an amazing draft pickup, honestly. Wasn't announced until today, but 5-head CLG, getting Baron on their own side, getting Dragon on their side as well as they melt this one down right out of the pause.
Nicely done.
That will be Dragon at Soul Point.
We've got a last whisper in the inventory of Palafox too, so Jayce is just continuing to build up that accelerated shock blast cannon. I'm expecting if this hits not revenge players, it's gonna do half their health.
So I've got a fun fact for you as well during the pause.
All right,
from
how
the
fun?
stats team. What would you guess would be North American Jayce's all-time record?
Like his win rate?
In LCS? Yeah, you can go percentage, it's fine. You want
3.
Actual
3%.
It's really, really, really close to 50%. It's
what?
It's 140 wins, 142 losses.
How the hell did it win 140 times?
Because half the time it's on the enemy team, half the time it's on your team.
You're right. Our Jayce versus their Jayce. It's all in a Jayce. That's. I feel like I just saw the light,
I just
man.
expanded your mind,
Yeah.
baby. Paradigm shifting stuff here.
We're learning all sorts of stuff.
By the way, Flower still has these Garner oven mitts on. I don't think he's ever taken
Committed to the bit. Hold on, Dhokla's backing up a little bit.
Okay.
I have to use 2 hands to drink with these. You can't actually pick things up.
It's also getting really hot up here. So we either need a fan or turn off the, or something. I turn off the lights maybe. I'm gonna take off the jacket.
There you go. In the meantime, everybody's just sort of big chilling.
Big chilling.
3.5 minutes till the next Drake. Nobody's really willing to overcommit to a Baron. I mean, CLG's been in the lead pretty much the whole game, but that lead is hanging out around 2,000 here. It was even more earlier. Immortals did a good job being able to bring that back a little bit. Tactical closing in on his 3rd item. Once he can get that under control, you would think that this Misfortune is going to be very scary if she can get the proper angle here in one of these fights. But Revenge goes in. Immortals looking for a setup, looking for a follow-up, but they ain't gonna get it. Oh no, Kenvi lands right back into the Moakai CC, and now he's gotta try to get away with the flash, but he's just cut to ribbons. Immortals lose their jungler. Their top laner's down to 1/3. I see what they tried to do, but it just wasn't there, and CLG's heading to Baron.
They wanted an exact repeat of that last mid lane team fight where they got the flank from Revenge. They were trying to pull up the exact same thing, but they didn't have the setup this time. There was no flash burned early, and that Baron's almost gone, Flowers.
Immortals is ready to fight for it. Tactical still has bullet time. Keep your eyes on him. The Dragon, the Baron, gonna be claimed. They pick up the enemy support at the same time. Contractz is gonna be shuffled back, but AblazeOlive can't stay alive even with stasis. CLG keep on moving forward. Bullet time forces him back. Dhokla just walked into it. So that's one going over to Immortals. CLG gonna take the remaining 4 men and hustle backwards. Revenge and Tactical seeing if they might be able to find anything else, but CLG is disengaged.
Yeah, they still have the Baron buff as well. Let's see how quickly they can reset and get some value out of it. Honestly, the tactical ultimates have been keeping Immortals in this game for so long. Here's another look. So they wanted the same play with the flank, but Revenge, he just takes Palafox over the edge by the Raptor Pit, and then the rest of Immortals are kind of left high and dry here with Kenvi, as you said, stopwatch into coming right back down. Dhokla's full health. That Gwen is not letting you walk away.
No.
Then you're in a 4v5 scenario, no jungle, no chance at a smite, but Immortals say, we gotta roll the dice, and so Fleshy goes on in. He hooks in, YOLO style. He goes down. AblazeOlive, even with the stopwatch, you know he immediately gets annihilated. And then this is a very similar spot too. Misfortune ultimate. Dhokla's just waiting on the outside of the Misfortune ult. I think he
was on the inside.
He was right on the edge. I think he thought he was outside of it, but there was like 2-3 more waves of bullets that were hitting him.
I'm like, yo, I mean, once you see 2/3 of your health bar disappear, time to step away a little bit further. Unlucky. Tactical dominates the DPS charts, but it's CLG who come out on top in the fight. It's also Chemtech Soul spawning for them in 35 seconds. Unless Immortals can stop it, this is going to be a massive power infusion for CLG.
All right, let's call for that stop then.
Let's
Revenge wants another flank.
He's almost got Ghost too.
He's done a lot of work for this team.
Well, It's time to put in some overtime.
Look at Ablaze, though. He's coming, taking a long route around, and they go for it.
They're going in, but they're going after Contractz, the Aftershock Moakai, and this is exactly what I would expect if you go in after that guy. They immediately lose 3. There goes the 4th. AblazeOlive's just going to walk it off, and CLG pulverized them.
So when we started talking about that team fight, Ablaze was right here. They did not have Azir. Contractz does find him now, but by the time Ablaze even got there, the Azir, your big team fight DPS, the consistent DPS, is not there. He arrived for the team fight. 2 are already dead. And as you said, Moakai shrugs off all the damage.
It's Radiant Virtue Moakai.
All right.
I don't think there was ever a world where you're going to blow him up like that.
They were looking for pick on jungle. Maybe if we can quickly deal with Contractz, then we will eliminate the need for the smite fight. Maybe we can do something about stopping, Soul. But here's another look at it. They see him isolated inside the pit, but he is indeed a tanky boy. And Contractz does a good job. He gets his ultimate off as soon as Fleshy flashes over. So that procs his Aftershock, makes him extremely tanky. And Immortals, I think it was just a move born of desperation.
Yeah.
They didn't think they have a very good chance left in this game, and so if they have even a second at an isolated Moakai, maybe, hoping for the best there, trying to go all in, take out enemy jungle, then maybe get an objective bounty shutdown, but definitely not going to be the case this time around.
Honestly, the game's looking pretty over for the side of Immortals. CLG with that 8,000 gold lead, plus the Drake Soul. It's just impossible for Immortals to really find a winning fight unless CLG gift it to them. You do have free item tactical. That's about the only thing you can really count on here. Maybe everybody just walks into the Cone of Doom
and then walks to the edge of it and doesn't walk all the way out.
Right, everybody just hangs out on the perimeter just enough to take the damage from it. But no, I don't even know if that's enough, buddy.
Yeah, honestly, pretty strong stuff in these recent few minutes here from CLG. I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
Nope.
Easily pushing up in the 4-1. Even though Baron buff times out, they have the Chemtech Soul so much all in power.
Nice chunk coming out from Palafox. AblazeOlive's got to be careful. If Azir gets too low, if Azir can't fight, everybody else has to fall back. It's exactly what you were talking about in the previous skirmish around the Dragon. Azir wasn't there. They don't have the DPS to keep up and be able to fight back. Top lane tier 2 turret falls. Ablaze still at half HP. Revenge even lower than that. Immortals is having a hard time finding their opportunity to defend. AblazeOlive needs to flash just to survive. But with him heading back into the fountain to heal, that means CLG just keeps moving up. They just keep moving in. And they just keep building that lead even further.
All right, one's down. Go for the reset. Immortals don't want to let them reset. See if they can catch any stragglers here. CLG sticking together in their rotation over towards mid, though.
Yeah, this might just be another CLG team fight angle. Revenge getting himself back. Bullet time gets a whole lot of nothing this time around.
All right, that's about the only tool that has massive kill potential versus this team as well. Teleport. Ooh, a little bit of a flank here.
Okay.
Deep teleport from Dhokla.
CLG is ready to just go for the throat here, I think. Poome, Palafox, and Contractz hanging out to the left. Contractz doesn't have his ulti yet. I think that cooldown is what CLG are mostly looking for here. Poome has to flash over the wall to stay safe. Dhokla decides to enter into the fight, but he's a bit separated from everybody else. Tactical nearly dies. Walking away still for now, but the demonic embrace is burning. Revenge being focused down by 2. The damage goes through. It's Contractz burn that kills off Tactical. It is a 5-for-0 ace. And the end of the game for CLG.
Oh my god, Contractz W's over to his teammate to smite Tactical, and then stands on his body tanking Azir tower shots for like 3 seconds. Thumbs up, CLG at the Nexus. That's gonna wrap it up.
CLG 21-7, 12,000 gold up, and a Drake Soul. They're gonna give Immortals another loss, and they're gonna give themselves a better position in the standings.
Woo! That's kind of a wild start to the day, Flowers.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster.
Congratulations, CLG, improving above 500. 6-5 now, climbing back up those standings after they had a couple of dud weeks in 2 and 3.
Yeah.
They're trying to wash those from their memories. Right back on track this time around, and they get the second win of the year for North American. Jayce improves to 2-8.
Yeah.
Jayce Enjoyer, I heard that. There's Jayce
Okay,
Enjoyer
we got
over there.
some Jayce fans. We got some Jayce fans. CLG, they're going to take the dub on that one. They absolutely just bullied the bottom lane.